In most parts of the world, the parasitic roundworm Toxocara canis is highly prevalent in dogs. On average, about 10% of the world's dog population are infected at any time. However, this can be much higher in specific populations, such as puppies or not well cared for dogs. Excreted with the dog's feces, the eggs of this endoparasite can survive in the environment for several years, putting not only dogs at risk of infection, but also humans, particularly young children. Dogs can easily become infected with T. canis throughout their lifetime. They take up the infectious eggs orally. Within 2 to 3 hours, the L3 larvae hatch in the dog's gut and start penetrating the intestinal wall. In adult dogs, the immune system recognizes the invaders and immune cells try to immobilize them. To this end, the individual L3 larvae are encapsulated in so-called granulomas. Especially in puppies with their not yet fully developed immune system, but also in adult dogs, some larvae escape this defense barrier, enter the blood vessels, and are carried along with the bloodstream. They reach the liver and subsequently the lungs, triggering inflammatory processes and the formation of further granulomas in both organs. Inside the lungs, the L3 larvae leave the vessel, migrate into the connective tissue, and enter the alveoli. Here they undergo a molt. The affected dog coughs up the resulting L4 larvae and then swallows them again. In this way, the L4 larvae reach the small intestine where they molt into immature adults and grow by 10 centimeters. After maturation, they mate and the females lay up to 100,000 eggs per day. These eggs are then excreted with the feces. In the environment, a larva develops in the egg and molts twice to become infectious. It is now ready to be taken up by another passing dog. Predominantly in adult dogs with fully developed immune systems, T. canis can be diverted to various other organs and tissues such as the muscles, the kidneys, and even the brain. In any of these, inflammations can occur and granulomas can be formed. But even after immobilization in granulomas, the larvae may become activated again, for instance by pregnancy hormones. In pregnant dogs, activated larvae are transmitted through the placenta to the unborn puppies. They can also be transmitted after birth via the milk. Due to these two routes of mother-to-puppy transmission, most puppies are either born infected or are infected shortly after birth. The signs of a T. canis infection in dogs are not always visible, but the parasite may cause severe symptoms and, in rare cases, even death. Most of the symptoms are associated with the digestive system: diarrhea, vomiting and weight loss, or constipation and accompanying distension of the abdomen. Sometimes bacterial lung infections caused by migrating larvae can also be observed. Toxocara canis can infect not only dogs but also humans. The most common sources of infection are contaminated soil or the consumption of contaminated raw vegetables. Petting a dog bears only a very low risk if simple hygiene is observed. In the vast majority of cases, an infection in humans will go undetected. Flu-like symptoms are most common, but in rare cases there are more serious consequences. Once inside the human body, the larvae enter the bloodstream, travel with it, and start their migration into various organs. Depending on the path the larvae take in the human body, 3 different diseases can be observed. The term ocular larvae migrans describes larvae entering the eyes, potentially causing impaired vision or, in rare cases, even blindness. Cerebral toxocariasis affects the brain, while visceral larvae migrans is a condition in which the internal organs are affected. Most common, however, is covert toxocariasis. The larvae travel through the body without causing severe symptoms. An infection with T. canis is difficult to diagnose, and symptoms include a wide variety of clinical signs such as fever, sleeping difficulties, abdominal pain, swollen lymph nodes, asthma, and wheezing. Due to the absence of licensed products to treat toxocariasis in humans, the best treatment is prevention. This mainly includes proper hygiene, such as washing your hands and raw, potentially contaminated foods. Children in particular should be prevented from eating soil at playgrounds or other high-risk areas. Additionally, environmental contamination should be reduced as much as possible, for example, by picking up and disposing of dog feces immediately. Furthermore, regular treatment of worm infections in dogs is recommended, as it reduces or even prevents egg shedding and therefore contamination of the environment. Luckily, easy solutions are available for dogs. By regularly deworming dogs against T. canis, you limit the presence of the parasite in the environment at the same time. In this way, the risk of infection for humans also decreases. Ask your veterinarian about a regular worming plan today.